This is my review of Samurai Flamenco. Okay, so in Samurai Flamenco at this point has begun to worry that the hero has started to become kind of a lackey to Flamenco Girl. So Masayoshi asks Goto and Konami about it, and while Goto immediately dismisses his concerns, saying that he's kind of on his own, Konami actually answers him by first pointing out a bit of lesser known trivia about Red Axe, about how he originally was supposed to wield a hammer, hence why his signature pose is a bit different, but means this basically the same thing. So he then points out that every hero has a reason to exist, and asks Masayoshi why he became Samurai Flamenco. To which Masayoshi reveals that his grandfather actually came up with the concept of the hero, and that he wants to try and live up to the expectations of the hero that his grandfather created. At which point he asks Konami to help him sort out the situation, and Konami accepts, but unfortunately is unable to help due to the fact that he got pulled to France to do a film. So Masayoshi is kind of on his own there. At which point Ishihara reveals that she was reluctantly got him a spot in the superhero show starring musical note themed superheroes. So Masayoshi calls Marimaya to let her know what's up, and Marimaya is a little upset because now she has to do it on her own, and points out that, and the two get into an argument about what it actually means to be a hero, and Masayoshi points out that she isn't really much of a hero because all she really does is beat up the bad guys. She doesn't really dish out justice. And we do see that a little bit later in the episode. So Masayoshi is a bit indisposed because he's at a film shooting for the TV show that he was recruited for. And he finds out that it's a lot more boring than they thought, despite the fact that he's very excited about it initially. But that excitement quickly wears down once he realizes just how many steps there are behind the scenes and how little fun there actually is in actually creating the shows. And that the director of the show doesn't actually remember any of the story that he's supposed to be knowing about, and that he only really remembers the current job he's on, which leaves Masayoshi depressed until he gets a box of old Samurai Flamenco memorabilia from his late grandfather, who, as I mentioned before, created the hero. And he passed on, but he instructed one of his friends to hold on to the box until Masayoshi turned 820, and he gets it on his 20th birthday, which just so happens to be the day of the episode. So in the universe, he turns 820 that day and receives the box, at which point he realizes just what Samurai Flamenco stands for after reading a note from his grandfather. That Samurai Flamenco is meant to be this uncorruptible spirit who is supposed to be like this uncorruptible force of justice who seeks out justice and doesn't hold back, and always serves to protect the people he's supposed to protect. So Masayoshi, with a newfound meaning of what it means to be a hero, dons his new helmet and becomes Samurai Flamenco once again. Meanwhile, Marimaya has to deal with all of these solo, and now has to deal with Crime Fighter solo. And because the reward for her secret identity is twice as high as Masayoshi's is, she's a lot bigger danger because hers is worth 2 million as opposed to Masayoshi's 1 million, so she's a much higher profile target. And the fact that she doesn't have a partner means that it's a lot more taxing on her as a person, and it slowly begins to wear her out to the point where she's barely able to get out of bed and is just tired all the time. And Goto, meanwhile, is recruited to join the Vigilante Consultation Force, a small group within the precinct that's designed to help people ease their fears about the new vigilantes that are running around, and it was mainly started, and while Goto believes that he's actually trying to help people, what it actually is a PR stunt, and Goto isn't particularly happy with having to sacrifice some of his in-work time to do a job that really isn't needed or helping anybody, as most people are coming in making bold claims but are actually just making claims of their own making. Hence the fact that somebody is just complaining that their ramen spilled and it had nothing to do with any of the vigilantes, and one guy who claims that his wallet was stolen and if anybody had turned it in, but in actuality he just threw the wallet out. All three of these plot lines come to a head when Marimaya is trying to fight off a group of thugs that we've seen throughout the episode that have all joined forces to take her down, at which point Masayoshi shows up to save her for the sake of justice and finally fights off all of the groups of people that were trying to get their secret identities. So Masayoshi is there for the sake of justice and is finally starting to live up to the hero that his grandfather created. And after the two heroes deal with the group that are causing trouble, the two retreat, at which point the woman they saved from the group winds up telling the police about what happened and how they saved her, and Goto takes it from there because he's part of the vigilante consultation force. So it's at this point where Masayoshi tells Marimaya that he can't work with her anymore as her sidekick and that he needs to stand on his own and become his own hero because he wants to pursue justice and he doesn't feel comfortable with Marimaya's idea of justice. And Marimaya agrees and immediately agrees with him and then walks off, stating that his idea of justice isn't the same as hers. At which point it's revealed that she recruited the rest of Triple M to become her backup sidekicks, with the codenames now being Flamenco Diamond, Flamenco Sapphire for Mo, and Flamenco Ruby for Mizuki. And she herself becomes Flamenco Diamond because Diamond is like the most flawless gem, I think. I'm pretty sure White Diamond is the most flawless, but who knows? But anyway, now we have a trio of vigilantes as opposed to just Flamenco Girl, and Goto is not all too happy about it, especially considering how close of a relationship they're going to have in the future. So this episode was mainly just to help Masayoshi realize what it actually means to be Samurai Flamenco, because up to this point he really didn't know all too much about the character. But after reading his grandfather's letter to him in the box of supplies that he got, he's starting to understand what it actually means to become a hero. And also in this episode we find out that his parents just kind of were disappeared or were murdered or something like that. Either way, they're not in his life anymore. And his grandfather points out that the main reason he created the hero was for Masayoshi's sake, and Masayoshi takes it to heart. So, all in all, this episode was meant to help Samurai Flamenco realize what he needs to do to come into his own as a hero, and that's mainly what the episode is. And Marimaya has now created her own team of vigilantes, which we're probably going to see getting into semantics later. But anyway, if you guys have seen this episode of Samurai Flamenco, what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon description below as well if you want to help support the channel. It's only a couple bucks a month, and you get access to a bunch of different perks, and it helps me out because doing stuff like this is expensive. But anyway, if you guys do want to help support the channel, then be sure to check that out in the description below as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!